Today, I'm going to set up a Microsoft Word document for writing. So the way that I would do this is from myldcsb.ca, the home page for when you're accessing the virtual learning environment. I'm going to use this little applications launcher up here in the top left. And I'm going to access my OneDrive. Even though I can see Microsoft Word is here, I'm going to access my OneDrive. And it's going to load up. And from here, I'm going to create a new Word document. And so it's going to load up here just like this. And the very first thing I'm going to do before I do anything else is I'm going to give this document a name. So up here in the top, you see it says document. Document is not a very clear name. I don't know, that could be any document. And what happens to a lot of my students is they just keep making documents. So they'll get document 1, document 2, document 3, document 4, document 5, document 39, right? Document 40. I've seen people's OneDrives before, and it's just, you know, they end up with all these documents and then they have trouble finding their files. So I'm going to give it a name, and I'm going to name it whatever the assignment is. So, and sometimes I put my name on it too. So I might call it something like journal number 1 Houghton, which is my last name, right? You would put your own last name in there. And then when I click away from it, you see up here it says it's saved. So now I know that that file is saved. And if I was to jump back quickly to my OneDrive, you can now see that the file has the proper name on it. So that's the first thing I do, is I name the file. The second thing I do is I'm going to set the font. So right now the font is set to Calibri, but that's not really an ideal academic font. What we are looking for is a font called Times New Roman. So when you scroll down, you'll find it under the HIJKLMNOP and T, and there it is, Times New Roman. And after you select it the first time, it'll show up under your recently used fonts. You can also just type it in. It'll pick it up too. So we want to be Times New Roman, and the size here is going to be size 12. Now, one thing you'll notice is this is kind of small, you know, when I'm typing. In the bottom right, save your eyes. Save your eyes. Use the zoom in feature to make your writing, you know, nice and big, so it's taking up the whole page. Now, if you find Times New Roman to be difficult to read for you, you could use a different font that is easier for you to read, if you find other fonts are easier. But before you turn it in, flip it over to the Times New Roman. That's kind of the official font for writing at school that a lot of teachers like to see. Okay, so now that I have my font and my size set, in the top left corner, I'm going to put my name. Oh, I had my font set, and then I unset it. Times New Roman, size 12. Okay, so in the top left corner, I'm going to put my name. And by mine, it'll be your name. It won't be my name. It's whoever's the writer is whose name it's going to be. The course, so whatever the course is. So if it's English Applied, it would be like that, the course code, we call it. You know, or if it was the Ontario Literacy Credit, it would be something like that. And then we go down another line, and then you put the teacher's name. Okay. And then you go down one more line, and we want to have the title of the assignment. So let's say the title of the assignment was journal number 1. Now, what I like to do with the titles, what I like to see is I like to see them centered on the page, in the middle of the page. And what some students do to try to center their title is they go like this. They go, you know, this might be something you've done before, and you're trying to center it, you know, but it's not really centered when you do that. It's not quite right. So what we want to do is use up here in the top, we have these alignment features. and you're going to center your text. So you can align center, you could even align to the right, but we're going to align to the center here. I also find what some of my students end up doing is they try and make their title, you know, something like that. For writing for school, it's simply not necessary. You can just have the title just like that. Very nice. So then I'm going to go down a line, and I'm going to align myself back to the left, and I'll say, now I am ready to write. This is where I'll start writing. If you're writing in the form of paragraphs, which is a lot of the work that we do is in the form of paragraphs, don't forget to indent. Well, how do we indent? Well, it's the tab key on your keyboard. It looks like this. So if I press the tab key on the left side of my keyboard, it goes like this. It just puts this little indent here. And if I was to copy this text, what you'll see, hopefully, if I'm demonstrating it right, yeah, you see here when it goes to the next line, this indent is here, and then the next line is over fully to the left. And what this signals to the reader is that this is indeed a new paragraph. Now, some of my students, they sometimes will end up trying to use the text alignment tool for Justify like this. For writing for school, we always want to keep it to the left. The time where we would use the full Justify, you see how it's nicely lined up on the right, is if we're trying to make something look very beautiful. So maybe if I was putting together like a brochure for class, or something that I really want to be graphically appealing, I will use the full Justify so that the right side, it looks like because you'll see here, I'll just show the very quick difference. So right now, this is full justified. You see it's lined up along the right. But normally for school, we would have it just like this. And you see how it's kind of jagged on the right. The reason this is better for school is it keeps the spacing between the letters, and between the words, I should say, keeps the spacing between the words the same. When you change it to the full, you'll notice that the spaces between the words have changed a little bit. Makes it a little bit more difficult to read. It looks pretty, but it's a little bit more difficult to read. So we'll keep everything nicely to the left. So anyway, that's just a little bit about getting everything all set up. Other quick note in Microsoft Word, in the bottom left-hand corner, there is a word count. So if, let's say your teacher said something is supposed to be 200 words, as you look down here, you see it says 15 words, you know, and if I say 16, you know, it changes to 16 words. If I go 17, changes to 17 words. So that word count, we're not expecting you to go through and count each word. You can use this tool down here for the word count. And again, I've got my zoom in and zoom out feature down here, and I am ready to write. So hopefully that is useful in showing you how to get a Microsoft Word document set up for writing.